One of the biggest questions in the Bible is also one of the most misunderstood. If Jesus died for sin on the cross, how were people like Abraham, Moses, David, and Noah saved before it happened? Were they saved by keeping the law? By offering animal sacrifices? Or was heaven closed until Jesus came? The answer begins with Abraham. Long before the law of Moses existed, Genesis says, Abraham believed the Lord, and he counted it to him as righteousness. Notice what saved Abraham. Not perfect obedience, not sacrifices. Faith. Centuries later, David wrote, "Blessed is the one whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered." David knew forgiveness was God's gift, not something a sinner could earn. So what about the sacrifices in the Old Testament? Hebrews gives a surprising answer. It is impossible for the blood of bulls and goats to take away sins. If the sacrifices couldn't remove sin, why did God command them? Because they pointed forward. Every lamb that was sacrificed, every drop of blood that was shed, every Passover, every Day of Atonement was preparing God's people for the true sacrifice that was still to come. Then Paul explains the mystery in Romans chapter 3. God, in his patience, had passed over the sins previously committed until Christ would make full atonement through his death. In other words, the cross didn't begin God's plan of salvation, it fulfilled it. The people of the Old Testament were not saved by a different gospel. They were saved by trusting the promises God had revealed to them. They looked forward in faith. We look back in faith. But both are saved by the same Savior. Hebrews 11 calls Abraham, Moses, Rahab, and countless others heroes of faith. Yet it also says they did not receive the fullness of what had been promised during their lifetime. They were waiting for the day when Christ would accomplish what every sacrifice, every prophecy, and every promise had anticipated. The cross reaches in both directions, forward to us, and backward to every believer who trusted God before Jesus was born. No one has ever been saved apart from Christ. Some trusted the Savior who had come, others trusted the Savior who was promised. But every person who is redeemed by the same grace, through the same faith, because of the same cross.